So we are supposed to cover newspaper from 7th and so on and so forth, right? Yes. Are you carrying which newspaper? Like which day's newspaper? Right. So we are supposed to cover the last 4 days newspaper articles. We will try to cover the updated versions so that you won't have to read the same things again and again. For example, the summary of G20 has been discussed yesterday. So we will try to see what other value additions have been there in the newspaper. We will definitely go back to the other editorials and opinions. While we are there, we should also cover what? The contemporary stuff, so that we don't have any future backlogs. So the first and most important article is CBI related judgment in today's newspaper, right? So first, which paper? GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is it useful? That is a thought process that you have to develop. I told you, right? So this is a homework. Everybody should do this before the class starts, and if possible, try to get a physical copy. Reading newspaper in digital format is good for faculty, not for students, unless you have an iPad with pencil. Okay, phone reading is not encouraged because it's a very tiny screen. You will have to spend too much amount of time, right? Get a physical paper, get a pen, underline the keywords. So when you round off the keywords, it's a habit that you develop. Okay, that is personal suggestion. If you are interested, follow it. Next, this is GS paper 2 policy decisions, right? This is GS paper 2 polity. Why polity or governance? We'll think about policy angle. If you look at this article, okay, there is a line which says Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Okay, this is the basis for CBI, the Central Bureau of Investigation. Okay, Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Now, apart from this, you also know in polity there is something called as 7th schedule. What does 7th schedule do? Normally it segregates the powers: union list, state list and concurrent list. Like this, everybody is given certain amount of powers. Okay, within that, law and order is normally considered as power of the state. Law and order comes under state. Okay, state list item. So law and order is controlled by the state, but sometimes some crimes are considered as national level crimes or national level crimes. Yes or no? That means a Gujarati businessman, a Karnataka politician and let's say a Odisha businessman, all of them can come together and do a corruption in 3 different states. So then I cannot expect Gujarat police, Karnataka police and Odisha police to come together and solve that problem. Yes or no? That is where these bodies like CBI, National Investigation Agencies come into the picture. Central Bureau of Investigation. That means they are not above other police officers, but they have bigger jurisdiction. Okay. Normally, every state will give something called as prior consent. What? Prior consent. The term is prior consent. So before I do some investigation in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana or West Bengal, I need to take the permission of which government? That respective state government. If it says yes, then only CBI can involve. Or else, if there is a Supreme Court intervention, Supreme Court said, do a CBI inquiry, then state government's permission is not more or less needed. Okay, that you understood the basic, right? CBI is not a state government. It is not under any state government. It is created through Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. So for any state, it needs to take the permission, that is called as prior consent. Some states have given prior consent. Some states have removed the prior consent. Okay, among all these things, that is when Supreme Court has come and given a judgment. What is a judgment? It says any government official, okay, involved in corruption cases before which year? Before 2014. Okay, cannot hide from who? Cannot hide from CBI. Okay, so you have to look it from corrupt IAS officer's perspective or correct bureaucratic perspective. This is what this article is talking about. Like this, it's a self-explanatory article, but you need to know what is called as prior consent. So prior consent is very, very important. If you understand that one point, everything else is very clear. So far clear? Yes? Right. This is nothing new. This is extension of yesterday's G20 article discussion only. That is West Asia Economic Corridor. West Asia Economic Corridor. So we have discussed about Saudi Arabia in different contexts. One of the context is it's in WANA region, that is West Asia and North Africa region. Especially it's in West Asia. It is undisputed leader of West Asia. Second thing is Saudi Arabia recently joined BRICS in Johannesburg Declaration. We have discussed Saudi Arabia in BRICS article also. Okay. At that time I told you Saudi Arabia is one of the largest oil exporter. That is why Saudi Arabia is very important for India's energy security. Saudi Arabia is important for why? Energy security. Next, Saudi Arabia also have lot of money. Saudi Arabia have what? Money. When somebody have money, they can invest in other countries. That other country here is India. So we can attract foreign direct investment from Saudi Arabia. Okay, one of the largest and most profitable companies in the world called as Aramco. Aramco. Aramco is in Saudi Arabia. It's oil enriching company. It belongs to Saudi Arabia, one of the richest companies in the world. Okay, that company is tying up with Reliance Industries. So there is a private, that is business to business cooperation, government to government cooperation. So that shows Saudi Arabia is interested in investing money in India. Okay, so all these are advantages of being very closer to Saudi Arabia. What else is the takeaway from that article? When you write mains answers one day, okay, if you are not getting points, such paragraphs will help you identify a lot of areas. If you think about it, defense, energy, security, technology, like this we are cooperating in multiple areas. You don't need to write down those points, just I am telling you, like defense is one area where we are working. Okay, energy security is definitely one area where we are working. Investments is one more area we are working. Like this, Saudi and India are coming closer together. This line, Saudi Strategic Partnership Council, yes, is very important. That shows closeness of which two countries? India and Saudi Arabia. Okay, so far clear? See, every day we don't need to spend so much amount of time on each and every article. What I am trying to tell you is, there is analysis, there is self thought process. Slowly by reading newspapers, what are you supposed to develop? Certain amount of critical thinking. Is this article useful? Yes, no. Should I look at that article? Yes, no. Such thought process is more important. Notes making and all those things are not important. But at the same time, I expect you to identify what? Keywords. Every article will have what? Keywords. So you are supposed to know them on your own, slowly. Yeah. There are other important articles we will discuss. For example, see, many people ignore such articles, but these are all fodder materials for your essay and ethics and other places, especially governance. Social justice is a huge problem in the country. Social justice. Supreme Court has identified transgenders as the third gender. Yes or no? There is a toilet for male, there is a toilet for female. What about transgenders? Should they go into female or male? Because you look like a man, but in your orientation is towards women. So you cannot go into a ladies' toilet because society is not so evolved to understand the nuances. Yes or no? So we have to mainstream whom? Transgenders. We should make transgenders feel that they are not abnormal, or we should not attach any stigma to them. Yes or no? Even today when you see transgenders, people make fun out of them. People call them names. People avoid them. People run away from them. Yes or no? Most of us never probably properly speak with a transgender. We attach a taboo. We think them as excluded gender. But Supreme Court gave a very progressive judgment saying transgenders are what? Third gender. Okay. Do you think the mainstreaming of transgenders happened? These are mains questions. Okay. What are the steps taken by governments to promote integration of transgenders or normalization of transgenders? Then you can bring in such examples by saying progressive states like Delhi are constructing special toilets for transgenders. Okay, and there are certain stations where certain metro stations in Delhi where transgenders are hired as the office staff. Okay, not only women but transgenders are also hired. Some states like Karnataka have reserved 1% of the seats for police, teacher, etc. That means a transgender can also become what? A teacher, a police officer. Yes or no? So recently government also gave some Padma Shri or Padma Shri award to some transgender. Like this, if we normalize by joining them in the mainstream of the society, transgenders will not become a taboo. Okay, clear? This is what we call as critical thinking. Okay, developing understanding why such articles are important. Okay, this article probably we will anyhow discuss in the future, but just remember what are green crackers. Just keep an eye on what are green crackers. Is there such thing called as green crackers? Can crackers be green? Not the output, not the package. You get my point, right? Here Supreme Court has invented something called as green crackers. I mean they wanted to promote green crackers. Normally the discussion will be like, for every Hindu festival, you know, Supreme Court will come and scuttle our freedom, fundamental rights. To celebrate my religion is my own right. Yes or no? But celebrating Diwali in a very gaseous fashion, okay, it only leads to more air pollution. There has been repeated empirical data year after year where air quality index has drastically fallen down after the Diwali night. So much amount of toxic fumes are released. All this is not healthy for humans. Okay, my right to life also includes right to health. Yes or no? I should be healthy first to enjoy my fundamental rights. So in that progressive move, Supreme Court bans crackers, or it allows crackers to be burnt only in certain amount of time in limited quantity. Okay, then if you are not satisfied, you can go on by something called as green crackers, which are designed by CSIR, which are not actually so effective, but mental satisfaction is I am not burning crackers, I am burning what? Green crackers. Okay, just like Vinayak Chavithi, the Vinayak Chaturthi event, people stopped buying colorful Ganesha and moved to clay Ganesha. Okay, that is consumer awareness towards the planet. Like this we can bring in lot of discussion. Okay, just remember what are green crackers. One day we will discuss them. Next, there is one more social issue related article. See, this one we don't know. The left side one, women Dalit Panchayat is missing Tamil Nadu, we don't know, but the right one makes some sense. It can also be an ethics case study. Think about it. Okay, parents restrain children from taking meals cooked by SC women. Okay, the parents are claiming that it's not about discrimination, we will give food to our own children, you don't have to bother about it. Okay, but subconsciously or underlyingly there can be a reason that the cook is a Dalit woman, that is why they don't want to eat the food. Okay, this is not the first time we see such articles. We have seen that such articles time and again from 2016. If you check the newspapers, there are so many examples like this. So casteism normally in the mind of the people works in the principle of purity and pollution. It works in the principle of what? Purity and pollution. So some people believe that when food is cooked by a Dalit woman, okay, it becomes polluted. In their mind, she is not a, you know, a upper caste woman or something like that. So they have some own glass ceilings. See, even she can wear gloves. Yes or no? The pani puri wala is there. For example, we eat pani puri everywhere. Do we know who made that pani puri? Yes or no? Do we care all such things? In a normal civilized society, the basic hygiene should be there. Irrespective of which religion, caste, creed, you should maintain what? Basic hygiene. You cannot do this and give me pani puri, but you should maintain some basic courtesies. Okay, then it's okay for me. But if we imbibe all these values in the children, they will go on to develop what? Caste feelings. Children are not supposed to develop caste feelings. Okay, so 76 years after having a progressive constitution, we should eliminate all such social evils. But at the same time, if the same case comes as an ethics case study, you are the district collector, you came to know that a school this is happening, you should not jump to conclusion that it is only based on the caste. You should hear the story of the parents also. You should hear the story of the cook also. Both sides you have to hear. By hearing the story, you will come to know which is real or what is the truth. If the woman is not practicing hygienic practices or something, then we have to change her. It has nothing to do with the caste. But if the woman is following all the basic hygienic standards and all those things, the school kitchen is well and all those things, okay, then you don't have any problem, because you should not discriminate people on the basis of caste, creed, religion, gender, etc. Got my point? Yes. In Bihar, a similar incident happened. So how did the collector respond? The collector's name was Rahul. Okay, he went to that school. In front of everybody, he sat there and started eating the food cooked by the Dalit cook. Okay, if a collector is eating the food of that woman, okay, what is your problem? Yes or no? Leading by example. This is how you lead by what? Example. Got my point? This is a true story. You can find it in Google. Rahul something. Okay. So don't miss such articles. You have to be very aware of such incidents. Right. Next, this article is about food insecurity. Did we discuss about malnourishment and all those things? Yes. Do you remember malnourishment, stunting, wasting definitions? You will tell me now. No? Stunting is about height. Wasting is about height. Stunting is about height. Wasting is about weight. Okay. Again, in this article, we will try to look at the keywords. What is the summary of this article? I will tell you briefly, so that when you read tomorrow or today, you will understand the core crux of the article. He starts with the Thalinomics. He starts with what? Thalinomics. The other day there was an article in Hindu. Any economics mixed with something is called as that economics. For example, Abenomics, Manmohanomics. Like this, there will be different things. THALI, Thalinomics. That is Thali, all of you understand, right? South Indian Thali, North Indian Thali. That plus economics. So few years ago, when Arvind Subramaniam was economic advisor of India, a economic survey discussed about this Thalinomics. That means Thali, South Indian, Veg Thali, North Thali, like this there will be there, no? It will tell you the cost of living. Yes or no? To cook a thali, a family has to spend certain amount of money. Okay, he nicely brings the discussion here. Okay, the cost of the thali has gone up by 65%. That means earlier it used to charge 100 rupees to cook a thali. Now it costs 165 rupees. Correct only? Think about it. Okay, let's not go into CSAT problems now. But basically what happened? Cost of thali has increased. What happened to your wage? Is your wage increasing accordingly? Your wages are increasing only by 38% and 28% respectively. Okay, that means your cost of living has increased, your income has increased only little bit. Okay, this shows what? The red color line, that is purchasing power has come down. Purchasing power has what? Come down. Okay, this is the beauty of Thalinomics. Okay, it simply shows how costly it is in India to create what? Basic meals. Okay, while your purchasing power is coming down. If you don't understand it, I will tell you a very simple other example. You are making 3000 rupees per month. You are making what? 3000 rupees per month. Okay, you will spend not less than 1500 rupees on food, milk, oil, all the basic things, etc, etc. Okay, now your cost of food has increased to 2000 or 2200 rupees. Okay, did your savings increase or decrease? Your savings have come down drastically down. Okay, So food has become 2,200 rupees. You went to your owner and asked, sir, increase my salary. He increased your salary by 3,500. So 500 rupees increased, but your food cost has increased by 700 or 800. So your savings will come down, your purchasing power will also come down. So this is how government try to identify thalinomics. Okay, he starts with this. Okay, then he moves on to argue that India have lot of food. Okay, the problem is not food. The problem is what? Supply. The problem is what? Supply. Supply side problem is the reason why there is very high cost. This is one argument given by the author. Okay, what is supply side? The recent examples is tomato. Tomato prices became gold prices. Yes or no? 1 kg is around 300, 400 also it went. Why? Everybody wants to eat tomatoes, but the market is only having limited tomatoes. So demand is high, supply is low. So automatically prices became costly. Yes or no? Do you know, for example, milk? India is the largest producer of milk in the world. But is milk cheap or costly in India? It has become very costly in the recent times. Why? Demand is more, supply is not proper. Okay, so all these are called as supply side problems. So what the author is trying to tell you is, please solve supply side problems. That is a summary. Okay, but how does he tell that? He tells it by rotating, taking U-turns, Y-turns, Z-turns and coming back and saying the same point. Okay, so the article looks very lengthy, but it has a simple summary. I will try to explain the same part. Okay, he says if food is not properly taken by women, what happens? Anemia will happen. What is anemia? Lack of blood. Many Indian women have less amount of blood. Okay, so what? So what? That can be the next question. If woman is anemic, okay, if she delivers a baby, right, her own health will be affected, the baby's health will be affected, and she won't become productive human capital of the society. Forget about babies, she should be healthy first. Yes or no? So majority of Indian women are anemic. How does I know? Fact. Over 15% of National Family Health Services, over 50% of adult women in India have less amount of blood. That is anemia. So that is a huge problem. Okay. So like this, food is a very, very important project. Okay. Then he says, it is necessary to intervene on the supply side to ensure food is produced at a steady price by raising the yield of the land. What is yield of the land? Producing more amount of rice or anything. Okay, from what? From the same number of acres. See, increasing yield means what? You have 1 acre of land, you are growing rice. For example only, China is producing 600 kgs of rice from 1 acre. Okay, we are producing 300 kgs. So our productivity is more or less? Less. So we don't need more agricultural land. We need what? More yield. That too justified with what? Proper supply. That too justified with what? Proper supply. So this is what he is arguing. With common sense, right? Are you able to understand? No issues, right? So far. Okay. Then for some reason he goes into the Green Revolution. Okay. All of you know Green Revolution. What is Green Revolution? In 1960s, India was not doing so well in food production. So government of India came up with an idea called as Green Revolution, simply by using high yield variety seeds. High yield variety seeds. In the process, two things happened. More food was produced in India. Everybody became happy. India became self-sufficient. Okay. So what? More rice, more wheat was produced in India. Everybody is happy. But while we are focusing on the good things, some bad things were happening. What are the bad things? The first and most important problem is our domestic food cultures have changed. Everybody has moved more or less to rice and wheat culture. This is the single biggest problem. Think about it. Millets, local food, we forgot all those things. Everybody started eating what? Rice and wheat. So that is a problem. Okay, next, underground water exploitation have severely increased. Okay, so food habits changed, water got exploited, then the pollution of the land by using excess fertilizers, repeated cropping, soil has lost its value, what we call as saram. The capacity of the soil has come down very drastically. Soil became useless, fertilizers became more prevalent. So all these are negatives of green revolution. What are the positives? Food security. Everybody have food to eat. Okay, these are the advantages and disadvantages of green revolution. So knowing all these things, in hindsight you are smarter. What is in hindsight you are smarter means, now that in 1960s we have learned what not to do, in 2023 what should we do? We should move towards more sustainable farming, like zero budget natural farming, organic farming and all these things. We should not use more fertilizers. Yes or no? We should use more water or less water? Very less water. But should we have more yield or less yield? More yield. Okay, we should have what? More yield with less water. Yes or no? That is where we take inspiration from Israel. Yes or no? Israel is what? A desert prone country, a dry country, just like many parts in India. But Israel uses micro irrigation so excellently that it produces good amount of food. So why should India waste a lot of water while we can produce more goods? I hope you understand. So we should use less water, but our crops should grow more food. But it should also be what? Sustainable or organic. So these are all the clauses. You can happily write a mains answer based on the same points only. Nothing new is there. In 1960s we made mistake. In 2023 what should we do? Avoid the mistakes. That's all. Okay, next. Right. And lastly, he goes on to say one more thing. See, when you read budget next year, in February 2024, you'll get budget and survey, no? You'll more or less hear all the same points only, nothing new. Same drama will continue. The thing is, India knows all its agricultural problems, but it is not easy to solve. Okay. If I have to increase agricultural yield, the first thing I need to have is what? More land or less land? At least existing land should be used fully. Okay, one of the biggest problems in India is the purple color line, that is fragmentation of small land holdings. What is small land holdings? Farmer having very little bit of land. Now imagine your grandfather had 100 acres. How much acres? 100 acres. So for 100 acres he can be a single farmer and he can buy lot of goods and services and all those things. Then he had 4 sons. While he was passing away, he gave the sons what? 25 acres each. Okay. Now your father have 3 sons. Will the land become smaller or bigger? Smaller, 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 smaller. Like this, Indian farmers have fragmented landings. It's around 1.1 hectares. Okay, that means every farmer hardly have 1.1 hectare. When you have very less small amount of land, you cannot do innovation. You cannot get loans. Yes or no? You will only work on what? Sustenance. Very few farmers in India have more than 10 acres. They are called as large farmers. Okay, 2 to 5 more or less is called as medium farmers. Around 80 to 85% of the farmers are small and marginal farmers, less than 2 acres. So when 80% of the farmers have less than 2 acres, what will happen? No innovation can happen. Will you buy a drone for a half acre? If you have 20-25 acres, what is the advantage? You can buy a drone, go for pesticide spraying and all these things. For half acre, why do you need a drone? Yes or no? It's not even cost effective. It's not even profitable. So like this, there are so many small problems in India. So that is why government has brought in a concept called as FPOs, Farmer Producer Organizations. Okay, so we can increase the yield through what? FPOs. What are FPOs? Farmer Producers Organizations. Okay, they are like a cooperative. That means you have half acre, I have 1 acre, they have 3 acres. So all of us will combine and become what? 100 farmers in one area can come together and create a 100 acres single plot. Then they can go for mechanization and all these things. So like this, if all of us come together, we can improve. Yes or no? But if everybody is doing their own work, it will become very fragmented. So there are a lot of steps that are being taken by the government for what? Increasing the yield to make farming more attractive. That is a summary of this article. I hope you understand. So in Indian economy, whatever you read, it applies directly to your social justice. Whatever happens in Tali economics will also apply to your Indian economy. So everything is what? Interlinked. Are you able to see that connection? Having more food is one thing. Food should be sustainable, organic. It should be given to the poor in an affordable price. It should not become too costly. There should not be any supply side constraints. So like this, everything has to work together so that only then India will progress. Clear? Yes. The G20 article has nothing. I don't even know why this article is in Hindu today. This is a very sensitive topic, so don't take it personally. But the article is about what? Sanatan Dharam. Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means what? Sanatana is ancient. Ancient Dharma. Okay, one interpretation. Then eternal, immortal, always has been there. It's a Sanatan. That means it has always been there. Which doesn't have beginning or end is Sanatan. Yes or no? We don't know when it started. We don't know when it ends. So it's always there. Eternal Dharma is Sanatan Dharam. Now recently some politician in Tamil Nadu has criticized the Sanatan Dharam. Okay, automatically the response came from certain sections of the society saying it is a very wrong thing. Okay, now the debate for UPSC aspirants should not be in the religious colors, it should be understanding the pain of the society. Why? When you become an IAS officer tomorrow, you don't see the caste, creed, religion of that person who is asking help for you. Okay, you are supposed to deliver the services. Yes or no? You are supposed to deliver the services. I will tell you a simple example to understand. Think about it. During COVID times, okay, there was a lot of hatred promoted towards Muslims, especially taking the Tabligh Jamaat issue and all those things. Okay, hate was so at the peak, right? With knowledge or without knowledge, you are spreading COVID because you are a asymptomatic spreader. Okay, that means you don't know that you have COVID, you are asymptomatic. Okay, then as a district collector, it's my responsibility to vaccinate you. I will come to that area where a lot of Muslims are there. Okay, because of fake news, misinformation and all these things, they will start throwing stones. These things have happened. Okay, some of the medical staff also has been affected. Okay, as a collector, you cannot send army or police to shoot them or kill them, right? You have to talk to them and get them vaccinated. You like it, you don't like it, that is not your problem. What is your problem? To get that entire area quarantined, to get that entire area vaccinated. Their religion, dharam and all these things don't work. Your dharam at that moment is what? To get them vaccinated and quarantine them, or else it will affect everybody. None of us are safe till all of us are safe. Yes or no? So develop that attitude that religion is a personal thing. Okay, as an officer, your job is what? Public service delivery. See, your knowledge level is here, his knowledge level is here. You cannot blame them for having less knowledge or believing in the fake news and all those things. You have to rise them to your level. You have to educate them, convince them, persuade them, get them vaccinated. Okay, so whenever you see such controversial issues, okay, if you are a believer, you can always believe in your own religion. Just me saying something about religion doesn't affect your religion. Why? It is Sanatan. It has much more bigger values than what? What are the negatives? But sometimes what happens is vested interest will take the advantage of religion. Yes or no? Vested interest will take the advantage of religion. Now imagine some people will use religion to justify casteism. To justify what? Casteism. That is a very wrong thing, right? Yes or no? Krishna says, or any god says, I am inside every person. Okay, I am the beginning, I am the end. Okay, when he himself is saying, I am the beginning, I am the end, how can you discriminate him, she? You are all Krishnas, right? You are all Ramas. Everybody is having a Atman. When you say Namahaste, okay, what are you saying? I respect the soul inside you. I'm saying what? I'm saying Namaste to the soul inside you. You are replying by saying the Namaste to soul inside me. This is a skin, but what is real? The soul. The soul is eternal. Okay. I hope you understand, right? So what I'm trying to say is, when Krishna says, whatever your religion is, Jesus, Krishna, Islam, any religion, they say all of us are one. Okay, all of us have God inside us. God created us. Then how can I discriminate one person who is created by God by discriminating the other person? Yes or no? You should not discriminate. Okay, but the problem is we use religion in our own advantage. If I want to say religion in my favor, I will bring some argument from religion. You don't know, you are ignorant. Religion will say you have to have separate practices. This is Varna system. This is what? Ashram. Like this I can bifurcate. But at the same time, the same religion also says you are also God. I am also having a God inside you. We should respect God inside each other. We will cherry pick. What do we do? Cherry pick. That is the problem. Cherry picking of the religion leads to all these dramas. Okay. Second thing, as I said in the beginning classes, you are what? X. X is what? A citizen of India. What is binding you? Constitution of India. Irrespective of your religion, I don't have the right to insult your religion. Yes or no? Sarva dharma samabhava. I respect all religions equally. I may not understand your religion, but I will respect your religion. But if your religion have some evil practice, social issue, okay, I will raise that. For example, sati. Nobody in the right mind can say that religion is the root cause of sati. Patriarchy is the root cause of sati in one way or the other. You think about it, okay? What does Raja Ram Mohan Roy says? It's a murder according to every shastra. Is that no? It's a murder according to every shastra. No religious book with right mind will write, you kill woman when the husband dies. Okay, that is a misinterpretation by certain people, and that became what? Synonymous to the religion. Okay, so religion is different from what? Practice. Religion is different from the practice. We should not judge the religion, other religion, which we don't know, on the basis of what? The practice. Who are you to practice that religion? You are the right person to judge? For example, I am a practicing Hindu. I don't know much more than how to go to temple and they take the prasad. That's all I know. Okay. But if you look at me and say, Kalyan Sir is like this, all Hindus are like this, then you are very wrong. I am just a practitioner of my religion. I don't know a lot of things about my religion. If you want to know more about my religion, you should study the religion. So, books, religion things are different from the practice. Practice gets diluted. Yes or no? Practice gets diluted. I will tell you a simple example. People do something called as upavash. Yes or no? Some people will say it's okay to drink fruits, fruit juice, eat the fruits. It doesn't violate upavasa. Some people will say nothing doing, not even water should be taken. Who is correct? The same person, when he's young, he will say you should not drink water. But if I become 40, 45 plus, then probably I will say it's okay to take fruit juice. Why I have become weaker? The same person, the dharma has changed or not? Am I correct? No. I am practicing dharma according to my own capacities. So if a small habit like food, juice can change in one practice, thousands of years of religion, thousands of places, thousands of people, don't you think the religions get diluted? Yes or no? Day before yesterday there was an article about Islam. Yesterday I think. Okay. There also the same problem. The Quran has been interpreted in 10,000 ways in 10,000 places. So nobody actually know which interpretation to follow. But everything is considered as Islam. In South India also, if you see, the temples are totally different. When you look at a South Indian temple, okay, it is having a separate place, nothing is there, not even shadow should fall, such lists are there. When I went to Delhi, okay, there is a ground floor. On the top, there is a family living. Okay, that is a temple. Okay, very common practice in North India. The temples look like a house. Okay, they don't have this what gopura and all those things. First floor family is living, second floor family is living, and the ground floor there is a temple. For South Indians it's a cultural shock. Okay, but if you come to South India, especially if you go to temples in North Tamil Nadu and all those things, they have totally different practice, right? So like this same god, 10,000 places, 10,000 interpretations. So don't blame God's religion or misuse them. Don't judge people on what practice. And irrespective of your religion, if you are practicing something wrong, it should be wrong. Why? Human rights, humanity is more important than religion. Yes or no? Okay, so that is where you have to remember the line: compassion is the root cause of all morality. Compassion is the root cause of all morality. You are a human being first, human being last. Yes or no? There is a joke: no parachute when a parachute malfunctions, no customer ever came back. Yes or no? In the same way, every religion says when you do some pap, good things, bad karma, good karma, when you go up, okay, you will be punished. But unfortunately, we don't know whether we will be punished or not. That is why everybody interprets religion according to their own wish. But if there is really a hell, when you go there and God slaps you for propagating the religion in a wrong way, that is when you will realize. Yes or no? So don't do stupid things with religion. It's a dialogue between you and your maker. Keep it between the four walls as much as possible, but at the same time protect it. Okay, nobody is asking you to change your religion and all those things, but you should practice the right things in your religion. Yes or no? Why? You are a human first. So I'm not going into the depth of this article because they have brought in Ambedkar. Ambedkar has been a victim of the caste system. So he has very strong views on the entire Hinduism. So Annihilation of Caste is a essay written by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He talks about all the evils in the Hinduism. Right? As I said, it's a practice. The practice should not be the benchmark for judging the religion. But at the same time, all evil practices has to be condemned. Yes or no? Okay. Do you have any evil practices? Yes or no? Compassion. Compassion has to be taught. How many of you, think about God when you are eating the first bite? Yes or no? That is compassion. Why? Forget about gods. Somebody worked hard to bring that food to your table. When you thank Mata Annapurna or anyone, indirectly you are thanking whom? The farmer, the laborer. Everybody has contributed to bring that food to your table. Your parents. Yes or no? Food didn't come automatically. So cultural practices promote what? Compassion. Thank someone, whether it's God, farmer, or anyone, but you are eating food. That is a compassionate thing. I hope you understood the simple complexity, right? You don't have to worry about religion. Develop humanity. Automatically, you are practicing good religion. Okay? Yes. Mm-hmm. This is a very important article from your social justice point of view. Kota police and coaching centers are addressing the mental health issues. All of you know Kota? Yes, it's a place in Rajasthan where coaching is very famous for entering into these engineering colleges or medical colleges, special engineering colleges. Okay. Unfortunately, this year what happened? Around 23 students have committed suicide. And even more unfortunate is this is not the first year. From last decade onwards, we know that quota lot of suicides have happened. Okay. The thing is, students take excessive pressure. Okay, and they don't have anybody to talk to. Parents have excessive expectations. All these things will pressurize the students into taking their life rather than losing some exam. Okay, which is more important, marks or life? Life is much bigger than the marks. But unfortunately for those 23 students, the society has failed them to convince that marks are just marks. Somebody put excessive pressure on them, or they took excessive pressure and we couldn't lift it, but they committed suicide. That is all human capital loss. And bright future has gone. Yes or no? The light has gone away from the life of the parents. Yes or no? I wanted to see my son as an IIT engineer, okay, but at least he's alive. Now he's a dead. person, what can I do with the dead body, right? So all these are what? Social issues. So to solve all those things, government is trying to bring some behavioral changes. One of the biggest problems in India is mental health issues. Yes or no? Unfortunately, thanks to movies, whenever somebody says they are in depression, okay, people will say, you need to get that mental treatment, shock, or if you go to some psychiatrist, okay, he's a pagal. People call names, right? He's a weak person. Mard ko dard nahi hota. All these dialogues are what? To reduce that mental stress. I mean, people don't take the help of outsiders. See, boys are raised saying that you cannot cry. Why can't you cry? Why can't you cry? Because you are a man. Real men don't cry. Okay. So when I say all these things, you have a lot of stress about the exam. You cannot even complain to your friend and cry. Or I am feeling like this. Yes or no? All that pressure will be bottled inside the student. For women also the same thing. Yes or no? When you don't have anybody to listen to, automatically you will take the extra excessive steps. And science proves that nobody commits suicide on day one. Okay, you don't have that kind of courage. That thought must have been festering in the mind of that student from long amount of time. From at least 6 months, 4 months, they will be thinking about that thought. It's better to commit suicide than be alive. So when they repeatedly go into the depression, negative thought process, it brews, and one day finally they burst. Okay, so that is why counseling is a very, very, very important step in relation to mental health issues, especially for students preparing for competitive exams. That is a progressive step, no? Yes. Again, commercialization of exams, excessive study hours, and all these things have added their own toll. And there are also reports by Government of India and others saying 1 in 4 Indians are always in some kind of mental health issue. 1 in 4 Indians will always have psychiatric issues. It can be depression, it can be lack of sleep, it can be insomnia. There are so many reasons why you are not feeling well. But most people don't even know the definition of depression. Yes or no? Okay. So when you don't know that you are in depression, that is a bigger problem. But if your body gets warm, you are feeling weak, at least you know you have a fever. That is when you take Dolo. So no, people forgot Dolo, right? The peppermint during COVID times. Whenever people sneezed, take a Dolo, right? Now we forgot the Dolo. The same Dolo for mental health issues is not available. Okay. And there was a recent article in print. It says from seniors to babas, everybody is a psychiatrist in India. Yes or no? From seniors to babas, everybody is a psychiatrist, but they are not trained psychiatrists. Yes or no? We should go to whom? A trained psychiatrist. But the mental health experts are also very, very less in India. When people have a lot of pain, they will go to temple. There was an article in Hindu. Entire walls of some temple in Kota are filled with writing. I need to become IIT engineer. I need to get certain rank. So people are venting their frustration on the walls of the temple rather than taking the help of professionals. Yes or no? So that is why government, private sector, institutions, everybody should encourage this counseling, meditation sessions, so that people will not go into depression. So that is our major takeaway from the article. Clear? So don't ignore such articles. So these are the major themes from today's Hindu. Luckily, not many articles are there, right? G20 article you can read on your own. Nothing new. Everything we have covered, and that's all. Any questions? Any confusions? Anything to talk to? అందుకే నేను ఈరోజు పేపర్ ఈరోజు డిస్కస్ చేసింది ఎందుకంటే బ్యాక్లాగ్ ఉండిపోయింది. సో ఇప్పుడు 7th నుంచి మనం 11th వరకు కవర్ చేయాలి. సో టుమారో ఆన్వర్డ్స్ వీ కెన్ కవర్ హ్యాపీలీ 1 day later, ఆర్ టుమారో వీ కెన్ డిస్కస్ ఆల్ ద ఓల్డ్ ఆర్టికల్స్. సో దట్ డే ఆఫ్టర్ టుమారో ఐ విల్ డిస్కస్ tomorrow's newspaper, right? Yes. Anything else? Somebody asked a doubt. Why isn't cooperative some farming successful enough? It takes behavioral change, right? It doesn't happen overnight. The government has to bring so many farmers together. We have to give them trust. In villages, what happens is oral agreements happen more than the legal agreements. Okay, people will go for leasing and all these things. So people will believe that they won't have autonomy or they will lose their lands. So there are 10,000 reasons. We will discuss as the topic comes, right? Yeah. Anything else? Okay. See you all tomorrow then. Tomorrow backlog. Day after tomorrow, 12th newspaper articles. Got it? Yeah. Thank you all.